What if I told you that the most advanced knowledge of our time, quantum physics, energy healing, even interdimensional theories, had already been discovered thousands of years ago by a civilization so old, so advanced, and so mysterious that much of what they knew is still being deliberately hidden? The ancient Egyptians weren't just pyramid builders. They were cosmic architects, spiritual engineers, and guardians of lost knowledge. Today we're uncovering what they buried. This is the forbidden knowledge, the secrets they hid from the world, and why. We were taught the pyramids were simply burial tombs, but no mummy has ever been discovered inside the Great Pyramid. No inscriptions, no funerary art, no gold, just massive chambers, precision-cut stone, and celestial alignments. Here's what you're not told. The pyramids are aligned perfectly with Orion's belt, down to a fraction of a degree. The internal shafts point directly to Sirius and Thuban, stars considered sacred in ancient myth. The dimensions of the pyramid encode Earth's curvature, the speed of light in meters second, and even the distance from Earth to the Sun. How could a civilization from 2500 BC know this? Did they inherit this knowledge from a much older, lost civilization? Or were they tapping into higher realms of consciousness, the Akashic record, as mystics would call it? How did they move and lift 50 to 80-ton granite blocks from Aswan to Giza? Mainstream theory says sleds and ropes. But even modern engineers admit that would be nearly impossible without cranes or machines. Some theorists now believe the Egyptians may have used sound, yes, sound, to alter the weight of matter. Ancient carvings show large tuning forks. Priests in sacred chambers chanted specific frequencies. The king's chamber in the Great Pyramid is designed to resonate at 432 Hz, a frequency tied to spiritual harmony. Could this have been ancient acoustic levitation? Did the Egyptians discover that vibration, sound, could shift physical reality? The ancient phrase, "as above, so below," wasn't poetry, it was a map. To the Egyptians, the human body was a miniature version of the universe. The Djed pillar, often depicted in temple walls, is said to represent the human spine and the rising of spiritual energy. Some believe it's a symbol of Kundalini awakening, similar to practices found in India and Tibet. They believed the heart held the soul, not the brain. The pineal gland, now tied to spiritual awakening, was represented by the Eye of Horus. The temples at Karnak and Luxor were built to mirror the human body, chakras, meridians, and all. Was ancient Egypt a spiritual laboratory? Were there rituals and symbols blueprints for elevating human consciousness? Now let's talk about the most forbidden of all, the Book of Thoth, said to be written by Thoth himself, the god of wisdom, writing, and sacred knowledge. Legend claims this book grants the reader mastery over the heavens, the earth, and the underworld, the ability to speak with animals, and even the power to resurrect the dead. But the Book of Thoth was said to be hidden, deep beneath the Sphinx, sealed in a secret chamber. Greek historians like Plutarch and Clement of Alexandria claimed the priests guarded it with their lives. Why? Because it contained unfiltered knowledge of divine reality. Knowledge so powerful, it could collapse empires or elevate mortals to gods. And here's where it gets strange. In 1993, ground-penetrating radar discovered a chamber beneath the Sphinx's paws. To this day, Egyptian authorities have never allowed excavation. Why? What are they hiding? We've all seen the Eye of Horus, one of Egypt's most iconic symbols. But when viewed through the lens of modern anatomy, it perfectly matches the pineal gland region of the human brain. Coincidence? Or did the Egyptians know that this tiny gland, often called the third eye, was the gateway to higher consciousness? The pineal gland produces DMT, a natural chemical released during deep meditation and near-death experiences. Was the Eye of Horus more than a symbol? Was it a map to unlocking multidimensional awareness? Inside temple walls, we find scenes of what look like surgical instruments, light-emitting devices, electromagnetic healing wands. Some depictions show what resemble bulb-shaped devices, sparking the Dendera light theory. Are these metaphors? Or did they possess a form of vibrational or energetic medicine? Some claim the priesthood had access to crystal-based tools using light and sound to heal the body, centuries before modern technology. Here's the kicker. Much of Egypt's knowledge wasn't just lost, it was erased. During the rise of empires and monotheistic religions, entire libraries were burned. The Library of Alexandria, containing hundreds of thousands of scrolls, many from ancient Egypt, was destroyed, and many surviving texts were sealed away in the Vatican secret archives, off limits to the public to this day. Why? What truths are too dangerous to reveal? The deeper you go into Egypt, the more it feels less like history and more like a forgotten future. They knew that consciousness shapes reality, that sound and energy can heal, that alignment with nature and cosmos is key to thriving. They didn't separate science from spirituality, and they unified them, and were only just beginning to catch up. The knowledge wasn't forbidden because it was evil. It was forbidden because it was empowering. Knowledge that taught us how to awaken our full potential, how to live in harmony with the universe, and how to go beyond what we think is possible. Maybe it's not about rediscovering the past. Maybe it's about remembering who we were before we forgot. If you believe this truth still lives in the symbols, stones, and silence, you're not alone. Comment below. The past is the key to the future. Like if you learned something new. Subscribe for more ancient truths reawakened.